right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. There is rain in the forecast, and I guess I see some clouds out there, but right now it's just beautiful out there. So it'll be one of those days. Rain will come, rain will go. It'll be one of those days, right? Mm-hmm. Today is National Teacher Appreciation Day. We were talking this morning about our teachers that we still remember after all these years, and the ones that had a great influence on us. And then somebody pointed out that his father was his greatest teacher, and then it changed the way we were thinking, because we were thinking in terms of school teachers.
Yes.
And the truth is, there are many people in our lives that are teachers, and I didn't even mention my music teacher, who I always talk about.
Oh yeah.
But he wasn't part of my public schooling, and that's where my brain was when I was talking about teachers. So. Mm-hmm. To all of you teachers, whether you had that title or just were teaching without the title, thank you so much for what you've done for us, including our next guest, Robin. And she's teaching something really important, which is underage drinking, why this is a big issue. MJ Corcoran, I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She worked more than 20 years with families in the public school system as a classroom teacher. She's a parent educator and school administrator, a certified parent coach, and the director of parent education for the Ladue School District, and the spokesperson for the Anheuser-Busch Families Talk About Drinking program, a new approach to initiate underage drinking prevention dialogue with parents and teens. What an important topic. It's one of the things we don't ever want to see is losing a child because they or somebody else was drinking. You can't prevent the other people. That's the problem too with this.
No.
MJ Corcoran, good morning, MJ.
Good morning. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. Thank you for being on the air with us. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Corcoran, yes.
Corcoran. And where are you? Where are you calling from?
From St. Louis.
St. Louis. How's the weather out there today? You just had some bad weather like Sunday, didn't you?
We did, but it's beautiful today.
Yeah, it's coming our way, though, I think. But it's beautiful right now. So you've done a lot with teaching. So now you're teaching us to what to do about drinking is a problem, whether they're underage or not, but underage especially, right?
Absolutely. That's why I teamed up with Anheuser-Busch over 5 years ago to promote this program called Family Talk About Drinking. And it's a critical issue, and it's one of those things that we all as parents have to have conversations with our children about. And so this resource was so important to me in not just a social responsibility way, but also in a way to provide a resource for our parents, because it's a tough topic to talk about. We don't know exactly what to say, how to say, or when to say it. And Family Talk About Drinking program really provides that information.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark. I don't know that it says anything of the sort that I'm about to ask you in my notes here.
Okay.
But it says you worked more than 20 years as a teacher, and I'm guessing in those 20 years you went to work one day and said, "Oh gosh, remember so and so? He was in this class. Remember he was killed by a drunk driver last night." Did those stories happen to you? They happened to all of us. But especially
one of my daughter's best friends.
Oh, really?
So yep.
So is that what got?
It's real, and it happens, and that's why it's so important for us to have information to help parents feel confident about having those conversations.
But the parents should be able to just have a real conversation with their kids and not be preachy. I know when my kids were growing up, I had no problem talking to them about that. You know, I didn't yell or scream or anything, but there are some parents that feel they have to be tyrants.
Well, if you've seen the Family Talk About Drinking, we actually divide it up into stages of parenting, so that when you're talking about, underage drinking or drinking with your younger child, it's very clear that this is the law, this is the rule. You're kind of telling them. And then at that middle stage of 8 to 14, that you actually start asking them questions about how they feel about it. And basically the questions are about creating a foundation to have those real conversations later. And then as you get more into a coaching model, which is what we promote at Talk About Drinking, is that you start asking questions of what would you do if you were at a party, and you give scenarios and situations to help support your child think through what they would do so that they have a plan. And then you also allow them to know, you know what, here's how I will support you. If you call or text me, I will pick you up. and then we'll talk about the situation later. So giving parents those tools is so important.
What about the legal part of it? I mean, underage drinking is illegal.
Right. And that's something that Anheuser-Busch stands by. They have a social responsibility program, and one of the main reasons is that, only people 21 and over engage with their product. And so it is illegal, and it's something that parents need to know that they're the number one influence. And to me, I compare it to, you don't let your 11-year-old drive your car. You're not going to let a 19-year-old engage in underage drinking. It is against the law.
Right. And I know attitudes have changed, and a lot of people who grew up, I can remember as a kid, taking a sip of my father's beer, and everybody thought that was cute. But fortunately for me, I never got into that lifestyle. But I mean, it could have happened, I could have said, oh, I like that.
If you would have snuck around.
I don't ever have a beer nowadays, but one day I'm going to. I'm going to have a beer. But then you have all the glamorization of it too. I mean, you look at a magazine or a movie or something, and you see they even put drinks, alcoholic beverages, in prettier glasses. Like if it's milk, it's a straight glass. If it's wine, it's a pretty glass, right?
I think that's what's so important is that we're talking, because it's prom and graduation season, that we really want parents to pay attention and to have those conversations, because there's so much influence out there. But I think the point today is really about, we are the number one influence. We have research to back that. And as parents, sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we think, their friends and their peers are so much more important. They don't really care about me or what I say. The truth is they do care, and they pay attention to what we do and what we say. And so during this prom and graduation season, we want parents to access the information at Family Talk About Drinking.
And our community does some really wonderful things during the prom and graduation season. They will stage mock accidents. They'll invite all of the schools to come to these mock accidents. They'll show, the volunteers squashed up in the car and say, this is what can happen to you if you drink and drive. And that's pretty powerful also.
Yeah, and another resource that Anheuser-Busch provides is that we have a speakers bureau, and we provide speakers to any high school, middle school that would like us to come out and talk about underage drinking to both parents and to the students.
Well, it says here something about Second City. Are you working with, who's on Second City anyway? I used to watch this all the time. Eugene Levy was one? Oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah, John Candy was one, right?
Sure, Tina Fey. Yeah.
Tina Fey was in Second City? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with them?
So Anheuser-Busch this year has partnered up with Second City. It's basically a unique and different approach to kind of create awareness for parents. One, to talk about underage drinking, and two, to kind of bring them back. They're such fun videos. Bring them back to when they were in high school, and the funny ways that we dressed and the funny things that we said, and then connect that with the importance of staying connected with your child, talking with your teens about underage drinking, and then reiterating how important our role is as parents and how important it is that we model responsibility.
Yeah,
and you can visit those videos. You can visit the YouTube channel at AB Family Talk.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for what you're doing. And we were mixing driving in with this, and of course nobody wants to do that either. But this is, drinking even without driving can be bad.
Exactly.
It's toxic if you drink too much.
Right.
Well, MJ, thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for being on the air with us today. So the website we leave the listeners with is
FamilyTalkAboutDrinking.com, and then AB Family Talk at YouTube.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, MJ. That was a very insightful conversation. We'll take a little break, and we will be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Say boating is no accident. Intervals of clouds and sun, warm and humid on this Tuesday with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm arriving this afternoon over the interior, the high 85 to 89. It'll be mostly cloudy through the night with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, though 67 inland, 73 on the coast. Periods of rain Wednesday, some of it heavy, and a thunderstorm, the high 77 to 81. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
It's the end of the fiscal year, and that means budget cuts and number crunching. Now's the time of the year you're evaluating your expenses, planning your budget, and finding ways to save money and increase efficiency to maximize profits. Dex Imaging understands and delivers. Call Dex Imaging today for a free document management evaluation. Cutting your office expenses is as easy as calling Dex Imaging, 352-266-0333. Start saving money today and increase your bottom line with Dex Imaging. Printers, copiers, and fax machines that increase office productivity and save you money. No one understands your bottom line better. Call Dex Imaging today, 352-266-0333, or check them out on the web at deximaging.com. That's DEXimaging.com. Or call 352-266-0333 for your free document management evaluation today.
Every day, millions of seniors struggle with cancer, arthritis, and other rare diseases. They rely on Medicare Part B for access to their doctor and life-saving medicines. Shockingly, the Obama administration has proposed a misguided experiment to Medicare, and it could be devastating. Government bureaucrats could manipulate your course of treatment. Access to new breakthrough treatments may be restricted. Local clinics could be forced to close, requiring some patients to travel significant distance and forcing others into hospitals for their care. Over 300 patient and provider groups have called on Congress to stop this experiment, and Congress needs to listen. Senator Bill Nelson has always protected Florida seniors. Call Senator Nelson at 202-224-5274 or go to stopcmscuts.com. Urge him to stand up for Florida seniors and stop the Medicare Part B experiment. Paid for by the Community Oncology Alliance.
Putting the local back into radio 24 hours.